started my 11th day early in the morning, so I went to my roof to yell good morning to all of the zombies out there. Despite initially I saw just a handful responding to my call, more emerged from the tree lines, so I was sure that I will have another effective morning exercise. The first 3 was easy, then came a group of another 3 close to each other. After the first I messed up my timing, and the second was able to make me fall toward the window. This was not a big deal considering that I was able to get up and deal with the last 2. After that I had to kill another 11 that came with a good distance between each other. Then finally I had a peaceful second that allowed me to wear back my dust mask and hat that I lost falling before. Considering that I didn't heard zombie noises, I felt safe to rest on my bed and read Agriculture Level 1. 20 minutes later I was interrupted by an unwelcomed visitor. To not litter my house, I pushed him away. This way I had time to get back on the roof and kill him there instead. After that, despite around the base I saw no zombies. I knew that there were more than that, so I yelled again to call them to me. The first that came had something interesting sticking from his back. To my delight, I found a jawbone war axe in almost perfect condition on him to add to my weapon collection. After that, I had 6 more easy kills that came one at a time, considering they were reaching me at a really slow pace. I deduced that there was not so many close by left to kill. So when I heard no more incoming, I went back inside, closed my door, and took a 3 hours nap to recover forces. At this point, I wanted to go downstairs, but was forced to go back to the roof in order to lure a solitary Zed waiting for me there. Finally, I was able to go down and reach my fridge, from where I took a 2 liters ginger ale bottle. Then ate 2 beef jerky to get rid of my hunger. In the process, I noticed that they destroyed the large fridge I brought back from the convenience store. After noticing this, I wanted more blood. Therefore, I went back to my roof to yell at those brain-dead creatures. My timing and positioning was perfect, and I was able to easily kill 14 of them without any issues. After that, I went to my stairs to help the dumb one to find his way to the roof. At this point, I went outside to kill 2 wise one that refused to reach me on the roof. From the second, I even obtained the second fanny pack to equip. Next, I took a stroll. This allowed me to spot a horde near the 1-story house, and another one on the other side of the fence leading toward the starting house. Then aggro 2 Zeds from the second group. After dealing with them, the noise attracted the rest. Initially I decided to stay and fight, but when I saw more coming from the north, I decided to retreat and guide them to my killing area. My positioning was really bad for the first, and I had to stomp him several times before he died. After that, I killed the group of 4 that was following me. Then looking around, I noticed that my house was surrounded. Later, I dropped 8 of them like flies and finally started to search for loot the new corpses. This messed up my focus, and when 2 came through, I was able to kill the first, but the second pushed me down. I got a scare when I noticed that I got injured. Thankfully, it was only a deep wound. Mainly because this means that I didn't receive the damage from the Zed, but from the fall damage, so I'm not risking zombification. I killed the offender that followed me down. He was the last one, so despite limping, I was able to reach my bathroom where I had a spare suture needle that I used to stitch the new wound. This action leveled up my first aid. Then I used a leather strip to bandage it, so it would heal faster with lower risk of infection. After that, I went to my clothing room and placed down a satchel I found on a zombie looted before and deposited all the new clothes in the clothing rack. Plus, I added the 4 belts to my collection in the left cabinet. I did some more loot organization before going to bed, only to wake up 30 minutes later because of a digital watch alarm. So I moved some more utility items in my second fanny pack, like the screwdriver, eraser and other items. I don't want to accidentally leave behind while depositing my loot. After that, I went to the body pile that was sticking through the wall and started to search for that digital watch that was waking me up. This allowed me to find another funny pack, despite I can't wear a third one. I took it anyway because I noticed that it has a lighter inside. Then I also found some matches in the next body. Before continuing looting, I had to change the bandage on my new wound. Later, beside the usual belts, boots, watches and clothes in perfect conditions, I found also a knife and a full box of caffeine pills. Once done, I went again to bed, but another watch woke me up at 2 a.m. After changing my bandages, I started to check every single watch I have on me, but none of them had the alarm. In the meantime, another one started to make noise. I had to find them, or else I won't be able to rest enough to be able to fight properly. Expecting them to be downstairs, I decided to go there. But guarding my stairs, I found a Zed. Despite it was dark, I decided to guide him to my roof anyway, in order to avoid having corpses inside. Seconds after, finally I was near my electronics bag and I started to check all 47 watches I had inside in order to disable their alarms. Found one set on 2 a.m., the second at 8 p.m. and 10 minutes, the third at 6 a.m. and 10 minutes, the fourth at 5 a.m. and 50, and the last one at 12 p.m. After that, I went back upstairs to deposit more clothes in the clothing rack. Plus, I dropped on the ground the fanny pack obtained before in order to get the lighter from it. Finally, after depositing the new 9 belts, I tended to my wound before resting on my bed till morning. The next day, I went outside to check the situation. This led me to find and kill a sleeping Zed. There was another hiding behind the right tree to deal with. I saw 2 more that came from the north, and after killing the right one, I zoomed out. Only to see a group of 4. Wanting a proper fight, I engaged the first. But while killing him, more started to appear from all directions. After pushing down the closest one, I went back to my base and waited for them on my roof. First 4 was quite easy to kill, while for the next I messed up and had to resort to my weapon. Same happened for the following one. The pile of dead was messing with my perception for the right positioning, and I had to figure the right spot before the groups start pouring in. But I failed and the next one pushed me down. Immediately after, a Zed landed a bite, but luckily my clothes layers prevented it to pass through, and after regaining balance I pushed him back. The original offender jumped down, and there was a second leaving the house. I dropped both and tried to kill one of them, but another fell on me. I pushed the last one, followed by the one that got on his feet. Finally, I was able to finish the first in time. Turning around, I somehow dodged the next. Before pushing him down, I had no chances to beat them, and my stamina had limits, so I ran inside the house from the back door and was finally able to get back to the safest killing spot. At that point, I was already out of breath, so I sat on top of the corpses to recover some of it before the Horde gets to me. Because I didn't want to fall again while the Horde is down, I positioned myself with the back to the wall. I was able then to stop 2 from pushing me away, but missed the third that was able to do so. Once back again on my feet, I tried to push them while trying to retreat, and found myself surrounded. Thankfully, I was able to push down one while avoiding the second. After that, while pushing down the second, the third was able to grab me, but thanks to my high strength, my character initiated the self-defense animation that resulted in pushing him down from the roof. I took this opportunity to kill the one under my feet with the pipe, before pushing down the other one and finishing him with a stomp. While waiting for the rest to come upstairs, I looted some of the new bodies in the pile. Seconds after, I found the sweet spot and easy killed 15 of them. After the last one, finally I heard no more Zeds around. This is why I started searching for the fresh bodies in the pile for their loot. Beside the usual stuff, I also found a steak knife and a gardening trowel. The last one is a good find considering that I can use it not only for farming, but also to dig for worms to use as fishing bait. After that, I went inside to tear down a few more belts, and I used one of those strips in order to change my shin wound bandage. Next, after depositing the new clothes in the clothing rack, I went downstairs and deposited all of the new tools and weapons in the trauma bag until it was full. Then double-checked the new 5 watches for alarms before adding them to the electronic bag. After that, I added the gardening tools in the bag that I use for that activity supplies, while the matches and lighter in the kitchen cupboard used for utility items. After that, I went to the south from the base and found a Zed to kill behind a tree. Finally, a fight that didn't attract any new Horde. A little to the east, I found another straggler to drop. This attracted another one. Then I found a slow one approaching my location. This one had something good sticking from his back, but after killing him I had to defeat another one. More emerged from the tree line, but I stayed and fought them, so I could take the tool I started this fight in the first place for. After killing them all, finally I was able to check what was the weapon. To my delight, it was another jawbone war axe in almost perfect condition. Time to take it, and I had to turn around and fight the next. Seconds after, I had to drop 2 more on the ground, but wasn't able to finish the one under my feet before the second got up. After he was down, I finally killed the first and moved to deal with the second. After 3 stomps, I wasn't able to finish the one on the ground and noticed that I was out of breath. Unaware of the situation around me, I decided that was time to retreat. I went back to the safety of my roof and sat on the ground in order to read the agriculture skill book and recover some stamina. I had enough time to lose the Moodle before the first came to die. Then I was able to rest and read for 20 extra minutes before the first joined his friend. After that, only 2 decided to get wrecked. Next, I went back inside, and once downstairs, I opened the curtain of the first window and removed the broken glass from it. While doing so, a Zed came to become the first victim of my new graveyard. After that, I also removed the glass for the second window, to have more options if needed. After taking some water from the sink, I went for another exploration run. Only a few steps after the gazebo, I already saw a Horde. So I lured the first 2 and strafed back closer to my base. After easily killing those 2, I found a fanny pack on one, containing some food and medical supplies. Later another one joined the pile. From the Horde location, I heard a slow one approaching that I stomped to death. After that, I zoomed out, and beside the Horde I trying to fight, I noticed another one migrating toward my location from the road. So I retreated till the gazebo where I killed one. Then, while strafing back, I was able to separate the fastest one and finish him as well. 3 more were approaching at the same speed. So I got closer to one of them to trigger the chase and separate him from the rest. This allowed me to push him down and assess a stomp, but it wasn't deadly. So I had to push away the second before I could finish him. Considering that the second was getting up fast, I resorted to finish him with my pipe. Finally, I dealt also with the slow one before I was able to loot. One of them had a carving fork. This is a new item introduced in Build 42 that, if I get it right, is used to make handles. After taking it, 2 more wanted to fight. I dropped them to the ground in time to finish one of them. Another tried to sneak behind. So I went back in my base, pushing away the Zed standing in the doorway. There was 2 hordes outside and I was tired and out of breath. So I chugged the caffeine pill. This allowed me to lose the tiredness. Time I was on my roof and my breath went back to normal. After killing the first, I decided to take another caffeine pill and sat on the floor to get ready for the fight. Soon after, I had to kill 4, and finally I didn't hurt any zombies in my base. This is why I went outside and killed a Zed I saw to the south. Then checked the old Horde location. Only 2 were left there. The first one was fast and he voluntarily met my boots, while the other one wasn't interested. Getting closer to him resulted in 3 more emerging from the woods that started moving toward my location. The first was easy to kill, while the second took a few extra pushes and stomps. This was enough to make me out of breath again. I didn't want to withdraw, and with a little bit of struggle I was able to kill all 4 of them. While looting, another one came to taste my boots. After all that killing and blood mixing, I bet they taste delicious for the undead. Anyway, beside the usual staff from their bodies, I also obtained a hard hat that I could use in the summer. I wasn't in the mood to push more for now, so I went back to my base. Sorted my new loot by depositing each item in their designated storage. To finish this day, I read my agriculture skill book till 8 PM and went for a well-deserved sleep.